better known as DTarTag1, coming to you live tonight for a little bit of a special event. So, for those who do not know, the Alderaan Operatives runs a pretty big and a pretty fun league out here in North California. A lot of those guys have they had to switch like a lot of the other leagues. They had to switch over their games over to GEMP for the time being due to the coronavirus, due to everything else that's going on in the world. So their league is actually finishing up tonight. They have a game between Ryan Saracen and Stu Schaefer. So for their league championship. So in honor of this being one of the last leagues that we have to go around right now, we're going to be I'm streaming it for everybody to watch. Again, this is their league championship. It's a winner take all. So whoever wins this match is going to end up with their league championship. In their league, they come out with a bunch of cool prizes. They actually made some. If whoever is familiar with the Mandalorian show from Disney Plus, they made some Beskar ingots for as trophies and everything. They also have a few other little prizes. I know they have the shoulder pad essentially as one of their other prizes as well. So let's go check into the game. So this one's going to be an interesting one. It's Hunt Down versus Legend. Ryan Saracen is playing Legend, and Stu is playing Hunt Down. So I actually got to play Stu's Hunt Down. It's I played his Hunt Down versus my Throne Room, and because of the interactions and how challenging it can be, he was actually able to out sustain me. So his Hunt Down isn't up. It's a pretty good deck. It's looks like your normal Hunt Down. He starts Crush the Rebellion, so that way they can cancel the Clash. Quad Drive Yards, so you can get Mustafar and I Am Your Father to get Vader's lightsaber. Ryan, on the other hand, Ryan is going with a Brave Resistance, Battle Order combo, and Walkling for his Legend. Legend is a little bit of a newer objective. It's one where you place Luke out of play, so it's interactive of like the episode 8. Luke sits on Act 2 until you're ready to flip. When you flip with a Resistance player or Resistance character, your opponent can't fire any weapons in that battle. And then a bunch of deck manipulation and Destiny manipulation runs with the deck as well. Thank you, one Anthony Batmouse Howard, for the shout out. Glad to see you are supportive. Okay, so both players, looks like Stu started. He's got his 0-2. He's got the Cloud City site. So he's already got one of his 2-0s out. Ryan started Jakku over a site, and so I think that's a smarter move. His space package, I want to say, is your standard Tantive, maybe a Profundity, maybe a Gold Leader. I want to say it's more of the Gold Leader than it is with the Profundity. But outside of that, I like the idea of just sitting there with like Poe and another Resistance character once you do flip, so that way you can do another drain. You get a drain +1. So. Okay, Stu is going to use 2 to go get his Mustafar system. And he will go out and he'll use the 1 to get Vader's castle. So he's got a lot of his activation out. Yeah, we might see a Falcon, but I think in the meta right now, unless you're playing like a Squadron Assignments or something along those lines, it's kind of hard to float the Falcon. And don't get me wrong, I like the Honshu and the Falcon, but unless in the Legend deck, it just doesn't fit. So, okay, let's see. Both players have to lose 1 to Visage. Okay, so Ryan's going to lose a Bright Hope. So he does have more ships than what I initially thought. So he's got the Bright Hope. Stu loses Vader's Anger. Both players losing from their deck instead of from their hands. Interesting. Okay, Stu's going to pull Secret Plans. That's good because Rose is going to make an appearance. And with Rose, once she's down at a battleground site, she'll be able to retrieve one a turn. Yeah, where's Han does fit. Yeah, and you don't get the drain bonus from the drain bonus from the Falcon. Has to be the episode 7. So it does. I see what you guys are saying, but okay. So he's gonna go. He's gonna use a Brave Resistance to put Ray back into the use pile to get Poe Dameron. He's gonna use one force. Okay, so he's got his Act 2-2-0 out. I do want to say that Ryan is playing other sites as well. So I want to say he's at least got the site that makes it so that you can't lose force to Agents of the Black Sun. Okay, there's Jedi Master Luke. And there is Luke's hut. So yes, this is the one that while Luke is here or out of play, you lose no force to the objective. Okay, that's a free shield pull for Stu, so he pulls out the Declode Clearance shield. That's a pretty good call. I've seen a lot of Legend decks run Jedi Levitation. So that's a smart card, because then once you get a card stacked on there, you can just start. You would actually reduce the amount of retrieval that they get. So that would negate Rose and other stuff. So it uses Mandalorian Mishap to pull Leia's blaster rifle. I like that. So this is a one way that you don't have to use. You don't have to use a Sight Tour to get out Leia's blaster rifle. Okay. And it looks like both players lost to Visage. Both decided to lose from their deck as well. Stu lost to Lord Vader, and Ryan lost Ahsoka Tano. So two important characters getting out of the decks early on. I think that's bigger for Stu just because he loses a Vader. If Ryan does have a out of control, out of commission combo, he might be able to place the Vader out of play, and that would be really bad for Stu. Okay, Stu going down to the Holo Theater with the Emperor, so that's a little bit of protection against just a guy coming down. Okay, so he's gonna play. Excuse me. He's gonna play Vader Monarch to see. So we actually get to see what's in Ryan's hand. He has the Maz. He has the Anti-Chamber, BB-8, Lando Scoundrel, R2-D2, which was good. The Falcon, Gold Leader and Gold 1, Poe, Force Projection, General Leia, and the General Leia's blaster rifle. Wow, so no duplicates. So the Vader Monarch is lost, but now Stu has an idea of what he's contending with. So the Falcon's there. He's got the Gold Leader and Gold 1. So that's a pretty substantial space package right now. And he's got Leia and her blaster rifle. So that's a pretty good hand for Ryan. And, I mean, that did take up all of Stu's turn. So, I mean, I would have... I mean, I personally would have... Yeah, that's a pretty loaded hand. I would have waited maybe just a little bit, but we do know that Ryan's going to lose from his deck. There's no way he's losing anything from that hand. And he does, and he loses a Rose. But more importantly, Stu loses another Vader from his reserve deck. So Stu runs, I want to say he runs 4 Vaders, and he's already lost 2. So unless he's got like a no escape or another way of getting that Vader back, he's only down to 2 Vaders. Yeah, even Ryan just commented on that. Okay, so he's going to play Brave Resistance, putting Leia back. Interesting that he decides to put Leia back. Maybe he's going to go with Rey, just so he can get Rey down to Jakku with Poe. Start doing some damage. Okay, he's going to take Finn. And Poe is going to pilot the Falcon. So, it comes down for 6 force there. Poe is -1 due to Jakku, and the Falcon is at 3. So 3 for the Falcon, 3 for Poe, drain for 2, and you're drawing a Destiny. And we know that you have Finn. Okay, so now he's got the 2 Destiny up there with the Gold Leader and Gold 1. The Falcon is immune now to less than 5, but again, more importantly, he's drawing 2 Destiny. He can flip. I don't think you're going to flip. And he's just going to draw some more cards. So I think if you're Ryan right now, you're actually kind of happy that Stu has lost 2 of his Vaders. Oh, there goes a Qui-Gon Jinn with lightsaber, lost from the deck. So both players are losing characters pretty fast. But right now, Stu's not in a terrible position. I'll give him that. He does need to get a Vader out. Okay, so he searches with the Crush. He misses. So no I Have You Nows, no Vaders or Vader Monarchs. And Ryan does get to verify. Yes, that's a good point. Leia's kind of a dead card because once Stu's on the 7 side, she can't battle, she can't initiate battles, and she can't force strain. So losing her she is essentially a dead card, but with her blaster, she's still a pretty good card to have down. And Stu's already lost 2 of his Vaders. So at this point, you're thinking to yourself, he's got to get a Vader out soon. And he probably just searched for a Vader here. So, okay, so he's going to play Tarkin's Bounty. This should be able to get him the Vader. And the only reason I'm saying that it looks like he activated both of his Vaders, or else he would have used the Vader's Castle to deploy him. Okay, so there's a Sonic Bombardment. So we're still going to see Vader come down to the Cloud City downtown plaza. It should be Vader, but again, it might be somebody else. So this way, Stu can do some damage to Ryan. Okay, there's the downtown plaza. Okay, let's show you who he gets out with there. So Stu does know that Leia is now back in the reserve deck. There's 2 Jedi missing. They're both in the lost pile. We do know he has a Rey. Okay, so there's a Blizzard 4. So maybe he wasn't using the Force or the Tarkin's Bounty for the Vader, but maybe a Blizzard 4. He could have... Okay, so he's going to get Kier Canis out. Okay. So maybe we won't see a Vader here. Okay, there's Big Daddy Vader from his hand. Okay. So the objective is now flipped, and he's going to go get a saber. Okay. So right now there's only 3 battlegrounds on the table: Jakku, Mustafar, and the downtown plaza. We do know that we just saw Ryan's hand a couple turns ago, and we didn't really see anything that could challenge that invader by themselves. He does have. I do know he has a Finn. He's got the Anti-Chamber, BB-8, Lando Scoundrel, R2, the Falcon, Gold Leader, and 1 are both on the table, along with Poe Dameron, Force Projection, Leia's back in the deck, and Leia's Blaster Rifle. And then we also did see, like I said, we saw him also draw a few cards, so we don't really know all that's in his hand. Okay, so he loses a Lando Scoundrel from his reserve deck, not the one from his hand. Okay. Okay, and Stu's going to pull his battle order. So now Ryan's going to have to pay to drain. It's going to be a drain of 2 there. And then Ryan's responded by initiating his once per game action of searching for a card out of his force pile. Okay, so I wonder, maybe it's going to be a Jinn. Maybe it's going to be... it can't be like a projection of Skywalker, because that doesn't work at that site. Okay, he's going to pay 3 to drain for 2. Okay, there goes a Moff Tarkin from the used pile and a We Must Accelerate Our Plans from the reserve deck. So both players continue to lose important cards at this turn so far. I mean, it's only turn 3. Both players have at least 6 cards in their lost pile. Ryan has 2 Jedi and a Lando, whereas Stu has 2 Vaders and a Tarkin. So, I mean, again, both players are losing key cards pretty early on, and they're not losing them from their hands, they're losing them from their life force. Again, to reiterate, this is a winner take all fight for the Alderaan Operatives League, the 2020 League final. So whoever wins this is their league champion. They did strength of schedule. Right now, Ryan has 10 points, and Stu has 8. So again, whoever wins this is going to win overall. Yeah, Virgins of the Force would be really good for Ryan. That's a pretty good card. I actually like that right now over Jin, just because you can't sniper dark strike it away. Okay, Ryan is taking his time to think about what he wants to do this turn. It is in his deploy phase. He's got 11 cards to work with. Okay, so there goes R2 down to the Cloud City security tower, and it is a battleground now because of R2 and the Scompling being there. Okay, so there's Captain Cassian as well as Finn. So if he does flip, so now he actually could flip if Stu comes down with a character because of Finn being there. So he's occupies for battle order. So, and he's got a resistant. He's got 2 resistance characters on the table. Interesting that he goes down with essentially such a small, kind of a small force. Okay, and Ryan is still, and Stu is still on the 7 side, so only he has to lose, or only Ryan has to lose. Ryan will lose a concussion missile from his hand. Okay. Yeah, and that's important. There's no weapons, there's no BD, or there's no Battle Destiny there at the security tower, so. But if you're Ryan, who do you place out of play? Or yeah, you have to place a character out of play. So like I said, you have Qui-Gon, you have Ahsoka, and you have a Lando. I think you go with the Qui-Gon just because Ahsoka has a little bit more. I don't know. They're both in the lost pile, so unless you can find some way of getting them back with, like, say, a Jedi levitation. Rose is in there as well, but if you're Ryan, I think you want to get back Rose. Normally, this matchup does swing towards the the hunt down player, just because you know that Luke's going to be on Act 2 or out of play, so you don't have to worry about him, and then you're only going to face like a Qui-Gon, maybe an Obi-Wan, maybe an Ahsoka with Legend. So, okay, so we're going to see a drain of 2. He is going to use 1 to increase it to 3. Let's see, do we see anything? So Ryan just going to peel. He loses Mandalorian mishaps, projection of Skywalker, and Obi-Wan with lightsaber. So he does lose, and there is the Virgins in the Force. This card, if you lose more than 2 Force and a Force drain, which Ryan just did, to play that location, you lose no more than 1 Force from a Force drain here. At any time, you may place this effect in the use pile to draw 2 cards from your reserve deck. He got it out. Boom. Good call. Okay. So, if you're Stu, you got to think that was, you have to think that. I was thinking it was going to be like a Jin, but yeah, you pointed out it was the Virgins in the Force. Okay. Here comes Kylo Ren with lightsaber down to the now battleground security tower. Now with Finn there, Ryan can flip. He does use fins once per game to take a Sorry combo. I like that just because you now have a Sorry combo in your hand. You don't have a weapon right now, but once you get Leia and her blaster rifle down, that blaster rifle becomes even better. I think if you're Stu. Okay, so he is going to battle. Ryan will flip. Luke goes out of play. So Kylo cannot swing. Now, as of right now, Stu is getting a Destiny with Kylo. However, in a second, it's going to be canceled. So it's a 1. Okay, interesting. So, yeah, he's going to cancel it. I don't know, like, you could in reality you could actually pitch the fin to the attrition. You saw that he drew a 1. I mean, the fin's not really doing much, but okay. But you did okay. So him canceling that Destiny by playing Qui-Gon out of play did cost another Force loss, and it looks like Stu lost the Gick from his use pile. So he drew the Gick for Destiny. It was canceled, and then he placed it into lost pile for the overflow. Okay, so and looks like Stu's going to bring over Vader and Kier to block that drain of 2. Now, once R2 leaves, that's no longer a battleground. So it would actually flip Stu back, I believe. Yes. So flip this card if opponent has Luke or Jedi at a battleground or Vader's not on table. So it will not flip back. I'm sorry. I don't play a lot of Hunt Down. Okay, he's going to play We Must Accelerator Plans to pull We Must Accelerator Plans. So it gets a 5 gets a 5 back into your deck. And he will pay upkeep. I think if you're Ryan right now, you're going to just move. You're going to drain and at least move those 3 characters away. Okay, loses a Rogue 1. So Ryan's playing a pretty heavy space type of a deck. Interesting. Definitely not your normal build for Legend. Okay. Drains for 2. And there goes a Sniper Dark Strike and a Maul Sith Infiltrator. So definitely 2 cards that Ryan wants to see gone. Okay, Lando's going to come down. So there's that Lando that we saw with the Vader Monarch. BB-8. So right now, he's getting 1 Destiny against 1 Destiny. So power 8 to 7. Don't know what other characters he has in his deck, so I think if you're Ryan, you don't battle here. I mean, Lando will cover, and then you could still move your guys over. Okay, he's going to use his objective. He gets to look at the top card of his force pile and reserve deck, and then he puts them back into either pile. So he either puts both in the reserve deck or both into the force pile. So he knows what's on top. So he does put them both onto the reserve deck. So he goes from having 8 force to work with down to 7. Okay, so he is going to battle. So he does know what he gets. Okay, any just actions from Stu? Nope, we're going on to Battle Destiny. Ryan knows that he draws a 5. He does draw the 5, so that will make his total power 12 with 5 attrition. Stu draws a 6, so he will outpower him. Oh, wait. Nope, he doesn't outpower him right now because Ryan gets to cause a redraw. Stu now draws a 3, so he goes from outpowering to down by 1. There goes Lando, and there goes the Blizzard 4. And now BB-8 is all alone at the downtown plaza for the next few seconds until R2, Captain Cassian Andor, and Finn join him. And you might be saying to yourself, well, okay, so R2 cannot move or battle until the beginning of Stu's next turn, or the end of Stu's next turn. So R2 is stuck there. I think he wants to save the force projection. I think you're fine with losing the Lando. Okay, so this is still a battleground now. It actually was a smart play by Stu. I actually kind of like that now. So it's still a battleground. He could use Sniper Dark Strike to get rid of the R2. But again, because it's a battleground, he's going to drain for 2. And Ryan loses an all wings combo from his hand. So it's actually a pretty even game right now. Both players. So Ryan is up in Life Force at 22 to Stu's 20. However, Stu has 9 cards in his hand. Ryan has 7. So essentially, both players have 29 cards to work with at this point. And I just want to give a big thank you to those who are watching in on this game tonight. Kind of a little bit of a last minute thing that we decided to do just to celebrate this this championship. So again, thanks to all those who are watching. Ryan just played Escape Pod. We are doomed to search his deck, take out a Hojix. He pulls a 1 out. He puts a 5 back. Pretty good. And while we have a little bit of a break, we do know that Stu is going to drain here. I just want to give a reminder to everyone to tune in this week to Chris Goglin's show. He's going to be showing off some of the July OCS foil. I believe he showed off the June's OCS foil this past week, so we're gonna have that. I hear a little bit of a rumor that Hollow Theater is going to be back this week with lead advocate, the man himself, Scott Lingrell. So tune in on Wednesday for that. We will have a special guest host. Right now, Jerry is still being mended, so he's still on his little hiatus. So we're gonna have a special guest host this week. Stay tuned to hear about who that is. And outside of that, we're actually going to be doing another little fun game. I'm going to be introducing a Thursday night show where me and an opponent will get on Discord and we'll sit and play a game of Star Wars, kind of like a mix between an actual game of Star Wars and like Taxi Cab, the show with Jerry Seinfeld. I don't remember, but I'm thinking it's just, 2 people playing a game of Star Wars, chatting, having fun. So it's going to be called Dan Plays. Something fun, interesting. So that's going to be on Thursdays, starting this week. Okay, back to the game. Stu he plays his No Escape. He gets his You Are Beaten back from his lost pile. I personally don't know if I like that unless he's got, like, say... Okay, there's Moff Gideon coming down to the downtown plaza. If he's got maybe like a Darth Maul with lightsaber here, that would be pretty nice. But nope, he's got Gideon and he's got a Stormtrooper Garrison. Okay, so remember, Cassian already used his game text, so it is going to be 2 Destiny. Okay, Finn is still there, so he will be able to cause a redraw, but Stu is getting a 2 Destiny here, so there's a 4. I think if you're Ryan, you let that one go through. But Ryan is a better player than I, so... But he will let that one go through, and he draws a 6, so I don't think there's any way that... Yep, he'll cause a redraw. and 3. So 4 and 3 is 7. So, okay, there's the force projection. So I think this is the play. This is the time to use the force projection. He draws. Ooh, he draws a 1. Ouch. Does he have? No, he does not have a Jedi's levitation. So that 1's going to stick. So it becomes a 6 now. So, but he does draw a 5 for Battle Destiny. So 17 to 13, and 6 for Ryan, 5 for Stu. I think you lose the Gideon, and I want to say you got to lose the Finn. Yeah, unfortunately, I think you do have to lose the Finn. Because, yep, Cassian is only 5, so... Yeah, you got to lose the Finn. So BB-8 will not ping damage this turn. No, Stu, I think it's the right guy. Because once you move Vader over, and you do know you're going to be... Yeah, that's the other thing. The garrison is only forfeit 5, or 4. He does not cover the 5 that Ryan drew. But yeah, more importantly, as I was saying, you move Vader over. Vader can't be hit by weapons, and he draws a Destiny with Vader. So yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, it's better to leave the garrison with the Vader. I mean, or you move the I think you move the garrison over with Vader, because you don't want to leave Kir Kanos by himself. Or you do that. You move the Kir Kanos over. Now, Kir Kanos is not a leader. So there's only he'd only be drawing 1 Destiny here. Now, you could move the Vader over again, but yep, he does move the Vader over, so now he's going to either have to lose 1 to put the garrison back in his deck, or the garrison's going to go out of play. And Ryan will lose Lieutenant Tarn Mason, and the garrison does go out of play. I don't agree with that. I would actually rather lost 1 and put the garrison back in the deck. But okay, so he's gonna play We Must Accelerate Our Plans to go get a We Must Accelerate Our Plans. Now again, Cassian and BB-8 can slide on over. And it will still be a drain of 2 here, because it is still a battleground. I don't know if going to Cloud City would have been the right idea, just because... Oh, interesting. So Leia's blaster rifle comes down on Cassian. So he has to use 3 force to deploy it onto Cassian. May target a character or creature using 1 force. Draw Destiny. Target is hit. Destiny +1. If hit by Leia, the target is lost. So, unfortunately, if he does hit with the blaster rifle, the character will not go lost. Okay. But he still would hit a character. Okay, and he's going to use his objective after he moves BB-8 and Cassian over. So he doesn't have a Destiny here, so he's putting himself into a little bit of a precarious situation. He does have the Hojix. However, that would make him lose the R2 and the BB-8. And if BB-8 goes lost, he has 1 to the drain. Now, I mean, I know that doesn't really come into play at the downtown plaza, but okay, and Ryan's just going to draw up. Ryan's sitting currently at 13 cards. Yeah, he's got 13 cards in his life force, 11 cards in hand. So he's currently down. He's actually going to be down by 2 right after this, after he loses from Visage. So 24 to Or no, he's down by 1. Sorry. 21 to 25, 25 to 24. So again, still a pretty close game. Now, Stu's going to have to, if he wants to drain, still has to pay the drain. And the other thing is, it still would be capped at 1. So he is going to pay to drain. And it will be capped at 1. But at this point, any life force loss is still pretty good. Okay, Lord Maul comes down. Don't think Ryan wanted to see him come down. Now, Ryan did save a bunch of cards in his force pile, so you got to be thinking he's got something high on his reserve deck. He's got the Sorry combo, which when used, it would make the character, it would make it +3 to hit. I think if you're Stu, you want it. You got to get rid of. Yeah. Okay, so pretty sure Cassian's going to be hit here. Stu did save enough force in his reserve deck, so he still will be able to get to draw Destiny. Okay, Cassian's hit. And he's going to fire back at Maul. Let's see. He draws a 1. But he's got the weapon levitation. Okay, so he'll be able to get that. So he's got Leia back in his hand now. Draws a 5. And unfortunately, that's still not big enough. He would have had to have used the Sorry combo to hit Maul. Battle Destiny is a 4. So 11 to 6. Oh, that's right. A redraw. Redraw Wars. Draws a 4. It becomes a 3. So 10 to 6. Down by 4. Yep. Actually, it is a 4 because of Maul. He adds 1 to each of his Battle Destinies. So, unfortunately, R2's not going to cover enough. Or for attrition. Oh no, R2 is. For some reason I thought R2 was a 3. So he loses the R2. R2 goes to the use pile. And he loses a Leia from hand. Interesting. I mean, he could have lost the BB-8 there and pulled his coward shield, but I think he's going to pull the coward shield anyway, just so that Maul can't do a ping of 1. Okay, and there goes an Oda Nestler combo for Ryan to the Visage. Okay, so now we're actually seeing a little bit of separation. Stu is up by 3 cards on Ryan. Yes, Ryan is going to be able to do a drain of 3 here. Okay, so he's going to pay the drain. Okay, and there goes Bridge. Yeah, I think Stu is happy with his activation. He's okay at losing that. And he loses a Sonic Bombardment as well. Okay, there's the anti-chamber. There's Ryan's battleground. And I think at this point it's actually a smart move. Because now we know that Vader is essentially stuck there unless he decides to move Vader to the castle and then over. Okay, so we have Padme, Rose, and Rey all coming down. Fortunately, BB-8 is stuck there by himself, but little guy can handle it. And yeah, that's another good point. With R2 being back in the deck, he could throw him on the one of the two executor sites, and he would be a spy. So, I mean, it would become a battleground. But I think at that point you don't do that. I think you go with maybe the Mustafar Castle. Now, I mean, Vader can move over, but yeah, I think you're right. You go to the executor because the Emperor can't move over. Yeah, that's what you do. And he draws the bottom card of his force pile. Okay. But I mean, he's got the Rose, he's got the Ray. He still needs to pull that Coward Shield so that way he won't take a damage to the Maul. He's probably just waiting until we go into Stu's activate phase, though. No, the castle doesn't have a Scomp link, but because he's down, he has a battleground site. I really don't think he's going to be losing that battleground site. He knows that P59 is in Stu's deck. Maul and Vader are both out. We've already seen one Tarkin go away. The only character that I can maybe see is like an R Singh, but I want to say Ryan's got to be playing the I think I can take care of myself, which would negate the weapon destiny. Okay, now it starts Stu's turn. I'll mention it for a third time. Maybe Ryan will actually hear me this time. He's got to play his Coward Shield to not lose an extra force. Okay, Ryan's down to 16. Stu has 22 left. Uh, so I mean, that's he got some cards down. Ryan did. However, that was 3 cards out of his life force and out of his hand. So, but again, he is occupying a battleground site. So, but again, we'll see what Stu has in his hand to go up against those 3 strong women. And that's another one. He could have Amara. I always seem to forget about Amara. She's a pretty good character. R saying maybe he's got to count Dooku. Okay, he's going to search with Crush the Rebellion. He's still in his activate phase. Enough time for Ryan to grab. So Stu's not happy with that search. Ryan still has time to grab the Coward Shield. But action is still on Stu's activate phase. So as of right now, Stu is doing a drain of 1 and 1, plus he's causing Ryan to lose 1 to Visage of the Emperor. Okay, Stu is going to activate another card. Ryan is making Stu lose 3, so I mean they're both even on the damage count. What's going to come into play is 1. Rose is out, so she'll be able to retrieve 1 a turn. So in when it really comes down to it, that's a Stu is doing 2 points of damage to Ryan's 3. Okay, there's Mara and ship. So he bypasses the entirety of his control phase, so he doesn't drain, and he deploys Mara and ship. He could have forgotten about Maul's +1, so he's going to move Maul over. Yeah, that him moving Maul over like that tells me he forgot about Maul's +1. Otherwise, and he's going to land a Dobry combo. Okay, so he's going to transport Maul, Kyrkanos, and Vader over to the antechamber. Okay, it's going to cancel Vader's game text. However, he is still able to swing, and I mean that's two lightsabers. And unfortunately for Ryan, I think I can take care of myself. Only blocks one. Well, he only gets around one of the destiny, so that's four destinies. He gets block one, and he can cause a redraw on the other. But I think you're going to go after Rose because she retrieves. And we already seen Ryan lose his Odin Nestler combo. So those ladies will probably not be running away. So there's a drain of two. Okay, he pitches a Visage. I think he's happy with the Visage. And there goes the Lana Dobry combo. Okay, let's see Rose do her thing here. Yep, there goes Rose retrieving. She'll retrieve an Antilles maneuver. So a pretty big Destiny that comes back into his hand. Or into his deck. Okay. Solo comes down. Interesting. So Solo there. One, the Falcon is now maneuver 6. 2, it's still immune less than 5. However, more importantly, because of this, your force drains are +1 where you have 2 unique resistant characters. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, Stu's looking at a pretty good position, just especially because he got the Lana Dobry combo off, and he is going to be doing. He's going to be doing another point of damage at Mustafar. I still think it's going to be pretty close. Okay, Ryan uses his objective, places both of the cards onto his reserve deck. He's got 5 cards to work with, and he's only got 3 cards in his hand. And this is, I think, at this point... Okay, he's going to play an Interrupt from Lost Pile with Solo. Interesting. Wonder what he's going to play. Okay, so there's the Odin... So he has his own Odin Lister combo from his Lost Pile. It's going to be stacked, and he's going to transport for 1. So while Stu had to pay 6, Ryan only had to pay 1. So knowing what is on top of your deck is a pretty good idea. Is a pretty good thing. So... Okay, the only problem now is that's a drain of 4 for Stu at that the antechamber. So, I mean that's pretty painful if you think about it. Okay, Falcon's gonna move over to block the drain with at Mara's system at Mustafar. He's gonna play Walkling to retrieve an Anakin Solo or Anakin Skywalker. He does have to pay 1. Okay, now he does occupy 3 battlegrounds, so he can play his resistance shield or his ultimatum shield to reduce the drain, to cap the drains at 2. So instead of a drain of 4, this is a drain of 2. Yeah, Ryan has got to play his ultimatum shield at this point. He's currently Stu is currently up by 4 cards. He's going to cause 3 force losses this turn. Whereas right now Ryan is showing a force loss of 4. Waiting on Stu to pass action to Ryan. Nope, he's going to drain. So, okay, so it's not a drain of 4. I'm sorry, because it is, the site makes it -1. However, because of the 2 lightsabers there, it becomes a drain of 3. I think that was definitely a mental mistake by Ryan. He decided not to play his ultimatum shield. He does use a Vergence in the Force to draw 2 cards. So he gets 1 card back. There's a Probot. You are correct. I forgot. BB-8 is now at the downtown plaza. Okay, Probot comes down onto Mara's ship. That doesn't add a Destiny, however, it does give you a little bit more wiggle room to work with the forfeit values. So I mean, Ryan is drawing 2 Destiny here. Stu's only drawing 1, so I think if you're Stu, you're still going to move over. This would become a drain of 2. Right? So it's 2 icons. However, it's -1 because Vader's on the table, and Padme is not at the system. However, it is going to be a drain of 2 because of the objective. So right now, Stu is about to take 2, 5 because of the objective, 6. So he's about to take 6 cards. Oof, that's a lot. And then I think if you're Ryan, you're fine with just swapping places with Gold Leader and Gold 1 and the Falcon. Yeah. Ryan's going to lose a effective repair Starship Levitation from his hand. And he's going to go on to his turn. So he activates 1. This is the Virgins of the Force right here. Okay, Ryan does not decide to grab that. Again, Stu played They're Still Coming Through, so he got to peek at the top card of his Force pile. But again, because this is the Virgins of the Force, he can use... Okay, he's making sure. He can use Ray's game text to draw the bottom card of his Force pile. So he'll know what it is. And now he can essentially use Ray's game text, so he'll still lose a drain of 3 here. But he'll still lose a drain of 3, but then it's reduced. But more importantly, he just played. I think I can handle myself to add 1 to this drain that already had 1 added to it. So now it's a drain of 4. So he's losing 4 here, 2 here, plus BB-8. So that's 7 cards this turn. It goes from a good situation for Stu to a oh crap situation. So he loses Masterful Move combo, another Sith Infiltrator. You are beaten, the one that he got back with the No Escape, and a Dark Time for the Rebellion. Now we see the drain of 2 over at Mustafar. And all those except for the Dark Time were from his hand. So he loses 1 card from his Life Force here. He loses a Dr. E and Aura Singh both from his reserve deck. And he's going to lose 1 more card. He loses Turn It Off, all from his reserve deck. So he had from having 15 cards in his reserve deck to 7. Now he does play the imbalance combo because Ryan just initiate a retrieval with the Rose. This will cause him 1 force loss, so he paid 1 to lose a force. Okay, Corn Horns coming down, sitting at the Mustafar Vader's castle. So this will now be a drain of 2 here. And definitely going to see these 2 swap because... Yeah, don't have to swap because you have the Virgins in the Force. So yeah, he's just going to keep the Gold Leader and Gold 1 here. So Ryan doesn't care that he's going to lose. He's about to lose 3 cards from here because he's got the one that's going to cap it. So he's got 7 cards. And we do know, like I said, that Stu's going to be losing a bunch of cards next turn. So I think this is about to be wrapped up. We know that Stu lost his Gick. So he's going to drain for 3. It's going to be then capped at 1. I think what you do is maybe you just make him lose 2 so then he doesn't play the Virgins in the Force. You don't want him to play the Virgins to the Force. So you make it a drain of 2. He doesn't play it. because then you could essentially still do 2 damage a turn instead of just 1. Okay, so he's going to lose Chewy with Bowcaster, R2, and All Wings combo, all from his deck. He's got 4 cards left. Well, maybe he doesn't have the Virgins of the Force. I mean, if he doesn't have the Virgins of the Force, it's not going to matter. But in the long run, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 10 cards left. He's doing 6 points of damage right there. That would be 2 more, so 8 points of damage. He's getting 1 back. Yeah, Stu's going to have 2 cards left. Okay, here goes P59. Now, P59 can shoot Rose pretty easily. This is going to be a suicide run here. The only thing is, Ryan's going to be able to cause a redraw. So if Stu doesn't have a 2 or higher in his reserve deck, Rose is going to be able to live. Or you could always go after BB-8. If you go after BB-8, this reduces the ping damage by 1. Or maybe he's just going to let the P59 sit there. Block the drain of 3. Yep. No battle. Nothing. So he's just going to block the drain of 3. Ryan's still going to cause 4 points of damage. Plus maybe the BB-8. I think it's if you control. Yeah. No, you don't have to control. So he's going to cause 5 points of damage here this turn. So Stu's going to go down to 4 cards. Okay, I think if you're Ryan, you do your drains. Retrieve with Rose. You don't want to initiate against P59. Okay, so there goes... Stu has no cards left in his hand. That was the drain of Jakku. Now we're about to see... Oh, it's a drain of 3 there because the Falcon's there now. So it loses 5 cards this turn. He loses all of his cards. He loses Blizzard 4, Garrison, Vader's Enforcer. They're still coming through, and We Moss, the Accelerator Planes. He got 3 cards left. This is actually a pretty good game. He also loses a Force Push from his reserve deck. Okay, Ryan's going to retrieve 1. Okay, no imbalanced combos, so he's not going to lose a Force here. He's going to see what his destiny is. So, yeah, I don't... Power's 9 to 4. So, you have to end it here. Because P59 is going to be able to shoot. He goes after, he hits BB-8. You go after the easiest one possible because you're going to cause the 2 Force loss. Ryan's also going to lose. Yep, there. And so he's going to shoot Beef. Draws a 6. I think you're... Yeah, you let it go. And now you got to lose 2 cards. Okay, loses the Hojix. Okay, so he doesn't have the Virgins of his Force in his hand. Interesting. And there goes the General Invitation that he just retrieved with Rose. Okay, now we're going to go into Battle Destiny. I think you can lose the Padme here. Not a problem. And, I mean, you still could lose the BB-8's forfeit 4. So, draws a 5. Okay, so there's the Virgins in the Force. It was a 6 with Ray, so 15 to 4. He has... I think if you're Ryan, just let that through because that's game. 6 to 5 is down by 9. He's down by 5. He's down by 9. He covers for 4, 5. He's only got 3 cards left. Yep, that's a game. Yep. Okay, and with that win, Ryan is the Alderaan Kabula Operatives champion for the year. Congratulations to Ryan. Again, I want to thank everybody who got to tune in tonight. Again, Mondays, Chris Gogolin OCS recap show. Wednesdays, returning of Apollo Theater, hopefully this week. And again, Thursday is going to be a start of Dan Plays. So tune in for more content from the PC. Again, thanks everybody for showing up, and good night, everybody.